So dear students, now we are going to do some questions on chapter gravitation. So the first question is, two identical spheres of radius r made up of same material are kept at a distance d apart, then the gravitational attraction between them is proportional to, right? See, let us assume that capital D is much greater than the radius of these spheres, although it must be given in the question. So we are assuming that capital D is much greater than radius of the spheres. So we can now treat these spheres as point masses, and obviously the gravitational force is going to be capital G m1 m2 divided by d square. So force is proportional to d raised to the power minus 2, dear students, right? It was an easy question. Let's move on to the next question. Two spheres of mass m and m are situated in air and the gravitational force between them is F, and the space between the masses is now filled with a liquid of specific gravity 3. What will be the gravitational force? Gravitational force does not depend on the medium present between the masses, so gravitational force has to remain same, that is F. Okay. Now next question, dear students. Two identical copper spheres. See, this is a different type of question. We have two identical spheres. They are kept touching each other. Okay, this is a little misleading question. Mass of this sphere be capital M, mass of this sphere be capital M. Let us assume that mass being concentrated at their center of mass. Okay. Distance between their centers is 2 times of capital R. Now, force between them is actually, according to Newton's law of gravitation, it is capital G m1 m2 divided by distance square. So this is capital G by 4. Mass is 4 by 3 pi r cube into density, volume into density. For the other sphere also it is 4 by 3 pi r cube into rho divided by capital R square. So we can say that force here is proportional to capital R raised to the power 4, dear students. Okay. That doesn't mean that Newton's law of gravitation has changed. Actually, the capital R was constant here, and we actually replace the value of mass by volume into density. Okay, right. So kindly note down, dear students, we have got the answer as R raised to the power 4. If G is the acceleration to gravity on the surface of Earth, its value at a height equal to double the radius of the Earth. Okay, we have the formula which is gr square by r plus h whole square. H is actually equal to 2r. So the answer comes out to be G by 9, dear students. Very easy question. Okay. Now the acceleration due to gravity is G at a point distance r from the center of the Earth, and r is less than the radius of the Earth. See, Earth is a solid sphere. So the plot of acceleration due to gravity is actually, in magnitude, it is actually like this. So it is directly proportional to small r up to the surface of the Earth, and then inversely proportional to r square outside. So the answer is directly proportional to small r, distance from the center. As we move away from the center of the Earth, acceleration due to gravity increases linearly till the surface of the Earth, and after that it decreases. It obeys inverse square law, right? A body of mass m is taken from Earth's surface, right? Body of mass m is taken from Earth's surface to where? To the height equal to twice the radius of Earth. Okay. You have to calculate the change in potential energy. We have the formula for change in potential energy, dear students, as when mgh over 1 plus h by r. Very important formula. Height is equal to twice the radius of the Earth. So mg into 2r divided by 1 plus 2. This comes out to be 2 by 3 mgr, dear students. We have an option here? Yes, we have an option here. A very easy question. You have to be very quick while solving these questions. Now comes an important question, rather even a difficult question also we can say. So this is a question. Let me redraw the diagram as the diagram is not clear here. This is, what? Solid sphere. Okay, this is a solid sphere, right? From otherwise continuous solid sphere, another solid sphere is removed. Of radius r by 2 is removed. Okay. We have a shaded portion now. What we are asked to calculate? Let us see. Okay. We have to calculate the potential at the center of the cavity. We have to calculate the gravitational potential here, dear students. Is it a solid sphere? Yes, it is a solid sphere. So, what we have to do is, the potential at point O is actually the potential due to big sphere at point O minus potential due to small sphere at point O. Okay, right? So basically for big sphere we have to use the formula for potential inside the solid sphere. What is that? Let this be V1 and let this be V2. Let us first calculate V1. V1 is actually going to be the formula for potential inside the solid sphere is minus Gm by R 3 by 2 minus 1 by 2 small r square by capital R square. What is small r? This small r is actually r by 2, I suppose. This is small r square by capital R square. Okay, so we have a formula here. This comes out to be minus Gm by R 3 by 2 minus 1 by 8, dear students. Okay, so can we take the LCM here? Yes, we can take the LCM. This is actually minus Gm by R minus Gm by R 3 by 2, LCM is 8. Okay, LCM is 8 and this is 12 minus 1, that is 11 by 8 minus Gm by R. No problem. Can we calculate the potential due to the small sphere? This small sphere, that is the removed part, we have to calculate the potential at the center of the removed part, right? And potential at the center is given by, it is actually minus 3 by 2 Gm by R minus 3 by 2 G. What is the mass of this sphere? See, radius is r by 2, volume is proportional to r cube. So r by 2 cube will become 1 by 8. So volume of this portion is 1 by 8 times of volume of the big sphere. Don't have to take the area, you have to take the volume because it is a solid sphere, not a disk. Okay, so volume will be 1 by 8th of original volume and mass will be of the bigger sphere. So mass will be 1 by 8th of the mass of the bigger sphere and minus 3 by 2 Gm by R. Radius is not r, it is r by 2, dear students. So this comes out to be, I suppose, minus 3 by 8 Gm by R. Yes, is it? Let us see, let us check. Yes, it is. Okay, let us now replace the value of V1 and V2 and see what comes out. Okay, what we get. So from here, this V1 minus V2 comes out to be minus Gm by R, dear students. This is 11 by 8 minus V2. So this becomes plus 3 by 8, I suppose. Let us see. V1 is minus Gm by R 11 by 8, correct. Negative of negative V2, that means it will be minus Gm by R 11 by 8. Yes, this is correct. And this will be plus 3 by 8. It should be here minus only, right? This is wrong. It should be minus. Since we have taken minus common now. Okay. This is a minus 11 by 8 Gm by R. And minus minus becomes plus, right? Correct, dear students. So this becomes minus gm by r, okay, and 11 minus 3, 8 by 8 comes out to be 1. So minus gm by r is the answer, right? This was indeed a good question, dear students. The answer is minus gm by r. Potential due to the bigger sphere at point O minus potential due to the removed part at point O, right? Right. Kindly note down, dear students. So infinite number of masses, each 1 kg. Okay, we have infinite number of masses here. I'm sorry, let us go back to the question. Gravitation, yeah. See, this is the xy system, coordinate system. We have infinite number of masses placed at, this is plus minus 1 meter, plus minus 2, plus minus 4, plus minus 8. Okay, this is 1 meter and 1 meter. This is 2 meter and 2 meter. This is 4 meter and 4 meter. This is 8 meter and 8 meter. We are asked to calculate the field or the potential. Let us see. Potential is a scalar quantity, field is a vector. We have to calculate the potential. That means we have to consider all the masses in that case. We don't have to take the vector sum because obviously potential is not a vector. Okay. Each mass 1 kg, 1 kg, 1 kg, 1 kg, 1 kg, right, 1 kg and so on. So till infinity is it? Yes, it is till infinity, right? It is till infinity. From here also it is till infinity. So we are going to calculate actually potential from on one side only. We will double the value. Okay, minus gm by r minus g m 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 by r up to obviously minus up to infinity. Why 2? Why we are multiplying the value 2? Because in order to account for the both left hand side and right hand side masses. Okay, let us take minus 2g common, right? Now this comes out to 1 plus 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2 square plus 1 by 2 cube up to infinity. This becomes an infinite GP, which is a plus ar square up to infinity. Sum of an infinite GP is a divided by 1 minus r. First term is called a and the number from which every term is getting multiplied is common ratio r, right? So we have a formula now which is minus 2g 1 over 1 minus 1 by 2. So this is minus 4 times of capital G, or okay, this is 4 times of capital G in magnitude. They haven't taken the negative sign, right? Obviously the magnitude, right dear students? I hope this is clear to everyone. Change in gravitational potential energy, right? We have a formula here which is mgh over 1 plus h by r, where h is the height above the earth's surface, okay, is raised to height nr above the earth's surface. So we have got the direct formula, mg nr divided by 1 plus n is the formula, dear students. Do we have an option here? Yes, we have an option here. This is the correct one. Body is taken from surface of earth to a height that is n times the radius of earth. Obviously this is the answer, right? Escape velocity of a planet having mass and radius, okay. Do we have a formula for escape velocity? Yes, it is under root 2 gm divided by r, right? Okay, under root 2 gm by r. The escape velocity of a planet having mass 6 times the mass of earth. Okay, let us replace the mass by 6 times the mass of earth, and radius twice that of earth. Okay, so this comes out to be root 3 times under root 2 gm by r. That means root 3 times escape velocity. Okay, easy, right dear students? Easy question, kindly note down. 4 particles each of mass capital M must be located at the vertex. Okay, yes, 4 particles each having mass capital M. They are placed at the vertices of a square, right? These are the vertices of a square. What we have to calculate? The gravitational potential due to this at the center of the square is Just calculate the potential due to 1 point mass multiplied by 4. 4 times minus gm, distance is this L by root 2. L by root 2. Okay. This comes out to be minus 4 root 2. Minus 4 root 2 gm by L. 4 goes inside. It becomes minus root 32 gm by L, dear students. Easy? Yes, it is. Okay, no, it is minus. We have minus also, right? Kindly note down, dear students. Potential is a scalar quantity. Due to symmetry, instead of calculating the potential due to individually 4 point masses, I just calculate the potential due to 1 point mass, then I multiplied the value by 4. V and VO, okay, easy one, very easy. Bonus question, escape velocity is root 2 times orbital velocity. We have already done that, right? Escape velocity is root 2 times orbital velocity. Easy one. Okay, a planet moving along an elliptical orbit is closest to the sun at a distance r1. See, this is the sun, right? Let us make the planet here. Okay, planet is closest to the sun at a distance r1. This distance is r1, and it is farther away from the sun at a distance r2, right? Okay, this is called perihelion or perigee. This is called aphelion or apogee. Okay, right? v1 and v2 the velocities. Let the velocity be v1, let the velocity be v2, and we have to calculate the ratio of v1 and v2. We know that angular momentum has to remain conserved. L1 is equal to L2. So mv1 into r1 is equal to mv2 into r2. This value of small m is this small m is going to cancel. So v1 into r1 is equal to v2 into r2. v1 divided by v2 is equal to r2 divided by r1, right? Do we have an option here? Yes, we have an option here. It is r2 by r1, right, dear students? Kindly note down. What is the minimum energy required to launch a satellite of mass small m from the surface of the earth of mass, okay, capital M and radius r in a circular orbit at an altitude of height 2r, right? See, when the satellite is at the surface of the earth, see, it is, let us assume that it is at rest only. So it will be having only the potential energy, not the kinetic energy. So its initial energy is going to be only potential, not kinetic, which is minus g mm divided by r. Okay. Yes. When it is launched to a orbit which is at an altitude of 2r, right? Then the total energy of the satellite becomes, we have the formula for total energy, minus g mm divided by 2 times distance from the center of the earth, 2 times small r. Okay. So the extra energy that we need is actually the difference of these two energies, EF minus EI. Okay, which is minus g mm by 6r plus g mm by r, right? So this comes out to be 5 by 6 g mm by r, dear students, right? Kindly note down, dear students, this is the correct answer. This was a good question rather, right? Periodic time of a satellite revolving above Earth, okay, above Earth's surface at a height equal to capital R. We have a formula for time period of a satellite. It is 2 pi r plus h raised to the power 3 by 2 divided by r root g. Okay, just substitute the value of height to be r, you will get the answer. Value of h is equal to r, you will get the answer, right? if gravitational force between the two objects, this is an important question. If gravitational force between two objects were proportional to 1 by r, right, where r is the separation between them, then a particle in circular orbit under such a force would have its orbital speed proportional to, see, gravitational force is inversely proportional to r. Gravitational force provides necessary centripetal force, right? So v square is actually constant. V is not dependent on r, so v is dependent on r raised to the power 0, I suppose, right? Okay. See, sometimes we are asked with some questions like, if force is proportional to r to the power n, then square of time period will be proportional to r to the power which? So it will be proportional to r to the power 1 minus n, right? Suppose you put the value of n to be minus 2, which is actually the case, force is inversely proportional to r square, then t square is proportional to r cube, true. If say velocity is proportional to r to the power m, then square of time period is proportional to r to the power 2 minus m, right dear students? Okay. So kindly note down. These are very good shortcuts, you can easily apply them, okay. If a body describes a circular motion under the inverse square field, okay. So time taken to complete one revolution t is related to the radius of the circular orbit as, we know that when force is proportional to r square, r to the power minus 2, t square is proportional to r to the power 1 minus 2, that is t square is proportional to r cube, okay. Now you can, if you want to calculate that, you can easily do that also. See, mv square by r is actually proportional to 1 by r square, right? So velocity is proportional to, v square is proportional to 1 by r, I suppose. V is proportional to 1 by root r. Time period is given by 2 pi r by speed. Velocity is proportional to 1 by root r. So time period is proportional to r. 1 by root r comes out to be r to the power 1 by 2. T proportional to r to the power 3 by 2. And obviously t square proportional to r cube, right? Okay. So we have a formula t square proportional to r cube, which is actually the case, okay. Kindly note down, dear students. If r denotes the distance between the sun and the earth, angular momentum, we have already done the angular momentum concept, which was the case of satellite, or it is the case of sun and planet, it means the same. Let us assume sun to be at the center, right? Let us consider orbit to be circular. Mass of the sun, this is mass of earth, okay, mass of planet. Angular momentum, this is small r. Angular momentum is going to be mvr, right? Gravitational force provides the necessary centripetal force. So gm by r square is going to provide the centripetal force, okay. Small m gets cancelled, so we get VO as under root capital G mass of sun divided by r into r. Obviously angular momentum is proportional to root r. This we have already done in case of satellites also. If r denotes the distance between the sun and the earth, then angular momentum of earth around the sun is proportional to, okay, we don't have an option, both the options are same, it must be root r, okay. There was some printing error in the question, right? Yes, it is indeed, okay. Kindly note down, dear students. See, black hole is an object where the escape velocity is greater than or equal to speed of light. Even light cannot escape from black hole. This is the formula for escape velocity under root 2 gm by r, and it must be greater than or equal to speed of light, right? Now, we are given with an elliptical orbit. This is an elliptical orbit, right? Okay. We have many points here. This is point C, this is point D, this is point B, this is point A. Let this be point E. Sun is situated here, right? Where the speed will be maximum, right? We know that angular momentum remains conserved. So angular momentum is constant, right? That means m, velocity at A, distance A is equal to constant. Distance of point A from the sun, RA, right? M is a constant. Now, velocity at A is inversely proportional to distance at A. Since point A is closest to the sun, velocity at point A must be maximum. Point A is closest to sun, so velocity at point A has to be maximum. This is what we say conservation of angular momentum. A planet moving around the sun sweeps area A1 in 2 days. This is area A1. This area is swept by the planet, rather, sorry, it is A1. Here, A1 is here. This area is A1. This area is swept by the planet in 2 days. In 1 day, planet sweeps A1 by 2 area, right? A2 is the area swept by the planet in 3 days. This is A2, right? So in 1 day, planet sweeps A2 by 3 area, and A3, this A3 is the area swept by the planet in 6 days. So in 1 day, it sweeps A3 by 6. Multiply by 6. 3A1 is equal to 2A2 is equal to A3, right? This is what we say aerial velocity is constant. Radius vector joining the planet and the sun sweeps equal areas in equal interval of time. Since the time interval was unequal, 2 days, 3 days and 6 days, so we made the time interval to be equal, 1 day in each case, and obviously we have got the answer, which is 3A1 is 2A2 is equal to A3, right? So now, suppose the gravitational force varies inversely as the nth power of distance. That means force is proportional to, inversely means r raised to the power minus n, okay? Time period is proportional, time period of planet is proportional to, okay? This is actually mr omega square proportional to r raised to the power minus n, omega square proportional to r raised to the power minus n minus 1, right? Omega is going to be 2 pi by 9 period square proportional to r raised to the power minus of n plus 1. Just take the reciprocal. T square is proportional to r raised to the power n plus 1. Oh, sorry, it is 1 n, it is just n plus 1. Now t is proportional to r raised to the power n plus 1 divided by 2, dear students. Do we have an option here? Yes, we have an option here. Okay. Kindly note down, dear students. This was a very good question. This is actually a very important question. This is a fact-based graph. Dependence of intensity of field of Earth. Earth is a solid sphere, dear students. Earth is a solid sphere. So it is a straight line from center of the Earth to the surface. After that, it is a curve. It varies inversely as 1 by r square. Directly proportional to r, inversely proportional to r square. So this is the correct option. Okay. Again, same question. Which one of the following plots represents the variation of gravitational field on a particle with distance r due to a thin spherical shell? Field inside the shell is 0, right? Yes. Which of the following represents the plots the variation of gravitational field? Field inside the shell is 0, right? It is 0 inside. It should be in the negative direction, but okay, we don't have any graph in the negative direction, so let us mark this graph to be correct. 0 inside, maximum at the surface, then varies with 1 by r square, okay? Then it varies with 1 by r square, right dear students? Now, this is going to be the last question. An artificial satellite is moving in a circular orbit, right, around the earth, has a total energy of E naught. Potential energy is, you know that if total energy is E naught, potential energy is, dear students, 2 times of E naught, okay? It is 2 times of E naught. Easy question. Kindly note down, dear students, this was all about gravitation.